Do you want to see what my portfolio is in terms of what I'm holding in crypto? I think it's good sometimes to compare what you're doing versus what other people are doing. It might give you some ideas. Obviously, there's a lot, so I'm not going to go through all the individual crypto, but here's what I'm going to do. 3 things, going to make this fairly brief. 1, I'm going to talk about the categories I'm in and why, and then I'm going to talk about my top holdings. And then lastly, I'm going to give you a tip as to how I like to find predictions, price predictions on various crypto. I do my own, but there's a lot of people out there that have excellent predictions, and I'll show you 2 quick searches you can do to find just that. So first, let's talk about categories in general. I like to go to CoinMarketCap. This is CoinMarketCap, and then there's CoinGecko, and either one you can go into categories. You can also see on the homepage here, they have what they say are hot for whatever reason. AI, gaming, RWA, DPIN. So I have about 60 crypto, and most people are going to say that's way too much. You should have 6 or 8. I don't think it's too much because I'm in probably 8 categories. We'll talk about that in a second. And I watch things category specific. So I believe that I will be in and out of categories, and in one category I might have 5 or 6 crypto or more. So typically the categories go together, irrespective of layer ones, which are very different. So let me talk about just real quick the categories I'm in for this bull run. Oh, I forgot to say, if it's not obvious, this is a big dumb animal. This is what one looks like. Don't do what big dumb animals say. That's my disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. So you're going to see here 2 different columns with percentages. So let me walk through. Let's just look at the first column. My layer ones, 61%, AI, 10%. I believe AI is going to be huge. That includes AI infrastructure, as well as the AI applications that people will interact with. You've got DeFi, decentralized finance. I include in there RWA, borrowing and lending, staking, whatever. DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure, renting out computers, that sort of thing. Interoperability, like Wormhole, some gaming, not individual games for me. These are very small categories, things I picked up kind of later. Internet of Things, Layer 2, Oracles. Okay. So now some of this, so you know, I have a couple like Cardano and Polygon, which I didn't buy recently. I've held that since the last bull run. For whatever reason, I held it, probably because I'm a big dumb animal. And I've been buying since 2023 for this bull run. So I've been buying for a year or over a year. And this is how things have worked out. And I have various things for different reasons. Like I have Ethereum, not because I think it's going to do a 10x. I'm hoping for a 2 to 3x. I have it because I'm using it to debank myself. So some of these categories, it really depends. Now, the second column, I think the second column is more indicative of how I've spread out my capital. The reason I say that is layer ones encompass a lot. So for example, Near Protocol, it's a layer 1, but I consider it to be an AI because people talk about it with respect to AI, and they originally started with the purpose of building it for AI, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. There's certain layer 1s that have a specific purpose. So the second column is where I think I'm more aligned in terms of the narrative. When AI starts going, that category starts moving, I believe that that layer 1 is going with it. Then there are other layer 1s that I believe are just more generic. Ethereum to me is more generic. Hedera to me is more generic. ICP is more generic. Because you can build anything on them. And of course, you know, Hedera is going after institutional, and there's kind of markets to which they apply better. However, not categories. So layer 1, 50%. I think layer 1s are going to do extremely well in this bull run. And that makes complete sense. Think about it. We're really early in crypto. Based on my age, I've been through a lot of things like the dot-com bubble. And I can tell you from my perspective, I think we're very early in crypto. Layer 1s are extremely important, and I look at that as the foundation. If you're going to build a house, you want a good, strong foundation on which you're going to build that home. So you want to build crypto businesses for the long term and solve business problems and do it cheaper and faster and more efficient and decentralized and better privacy and better security. Well, you better have a good layer one on which you're building. So to me, this bull run, I think layer ones will perform very well. I'm sure they will going forward, but I think going forward, the next bull run, let's assume it's 4 years from now, 3 years, 4 years from now, I think in that one, we're going to be looking more at some of the solutions that have built on top of those layer ones. That's just my opinion. So I'm heavy in this market in layer ones. I think AI is going to be getting a lot of attention because of NVIDIA and everything else, ChatGPT, OpenAI, whatever, all that stuff. DeFi, well, that was sort of one of the first things in crypto that started generating revenue. So we're talking about foundation, layer one. We're talking about AI, which is one of the hottest talked about narratives, crypto or not. DeFi, I'm thinking that's producing the most revenue across crypto in general. And then when it comes to things like these models just make sense to me. DePIN, whether it be, now in AI, I've got things like Render where people are renting out video boards, the H100s, A100s, and all their other GPUs. But in DePIN, I'm thinking just, for me, generally, that's just compute power, which makes sense, particularly for things like colleges and you name it. Interoperability, well, yeah, you got to get these things across talk. That market could change quite a bit over time. Gaming, for me, I'm just gaming infrastructure. That's it. I'm not getting into individual games. I have a tiny bit of meme coins I didn't put on here because it's so small. And then some layer two, some oracles, Internet of Things. But the majority, as you can see, what is that? 50 plus 32, 82% of my portfolio is layer one, AI, and DeFi. That's just me. And then I like to follow, because for me, that means I'm really only following in a big way 3 categories. And I'm watching within those categories. Okay, that was the first thing. My top holdings. People ask me this all the time. In comments, that is. Okay, my top holdings are Hedera. I've been accumulating that for quite a while. ICP. And to give you an idea on this list, Hedera is 2 to 3 times my ICP holding. Is by far my biggest holding. Now, way back when, over a year ago, my biggest holdings I was predominantly Bitcoin and Ethereum, of which I sold when Bitcoin hit its first all-time highs and started spreading that money among these things. So I did the whole Bitcoin to altcoin earlier. So I was investing my own money and then eventually, meaning new money, and then I eventually converted my Bitcoin over. Okay, ICP, Ethereum, my 3 largest holdings, and for various reasons, but like I said, those are so generic. I think those are going to just explode because of what they're doing. You probably know a lot about them. Sui, Arrow, DeFi, Mina. I don't think I've talked much about Mina. Render, Ondo, Fetch, Near, Filecoin, Aether. So you can see just from looking at these, I've got a couple generic at the top, like HBAR, ICP, Ethereum. But the rest of them are falling into mainly those top 3 categories. Honorable mentions, others are like Link, Pith, Axelar, Wormhole. So those are my largest holdings by dollar amount of what I invested, not by what they're worth now. Big difference. Hedera's gone up a lot. So if I were to do the percentage of my portfolio, it's going to change over time, just like yours, as things go up and down. I look at it as what did I invest? Because that's how I need to track my progress. Okay, so those were the categories I'm in. Those are my top holdings. So now let me give you the third thing I was going to talk about. Last thing, a little tip here. We're going to look at ICP. And check this out. This is when it first came out. I don't know. What in the world? What was it? It had come out at an astronomical price. 500, something like that. Look at this spike and then dropped. But even down here, you're looking at 1 to 200. You can see that, yeah, it's run up recently. This is a daily chart. And it's had a nice run. It was down here around, whatever it was, 6 or something, and now it's 14. So you're asking yourself, you're looking back. Some of these cryptos are so new, they don't really have a lot of past. ICP has a lot of past. Look how low it was for a while. Look at how high it was for a while. And you're thinking to yourself, where is this going to go? How do I figure that out? Well, in technical analysis, there's 2 major things that I really like. Fibonacci and Elliott waves. For Fibonacci, you got to plot it with highs and lows. And what highs and lows are you going to take? It depends on your time frame. So what I do is I look back through Twitter I found recently that it's been very helpful just to do a search on whatever crypto you have, render, and then look for Fibonacci or Elliott waves. They're two different things. Elliott wave theory, from the ones I've seen people say from 50 to 150 on ICP. I've seen a top of 115. Of course, you're going to see people post things like ICP $800, but they don't put anything behind it. I like to see a reason behind it. Fibonacci was around 160. So Elliott wave theory, it shows things in multiple waves. It's basically people's psychology, which makes sense, particularly for a crypto market. A lot of it is just what do people think. You see that particularly with XRP. And then Fibonacci, those are percentage ratios of growth based on recent high and low. And so people will say, well, at this level, it'll hit this much, and at this level, it'll hit that much. So for ICP, Elliott wave theory, like I said, anywhere from 50 to 150, Fibonacci's around 160. So if you're not sure how to do that type of work, I've shown things like, just generally speaking, let's look at a particular crypto versus the market. If we think the market is going to go up 3x in whole, and you just keep up with the market, you got a 3x. If you think you're going to get more market dominance, 6x, 10x, whatever it may be. And here's the last thing. When people say 10x or 6x, don't pay attention to that. That is not helpful unless they tell you the price they're starting with. I might say, Hedera, 10x, but I may have bought it at 4 cents. I know some of you that watched me saw my video at 4 cents, and I said, don't do what I do, but buy it. And so 10x was 40 cents. Did we just hit it the other day and we're about to hit it again? You could have gotten a 10x already. Someone might be looking at it now at 34 cents, and a 10x is $3.40. Big difference. So look at the prices. So that was it for today. I hope that was helpful. I wanted to show you the categories I'm in and generally why, what I'm thinking. I'm not saying that's the best thing to do. I'm just saying that's what I'm doing. My top holdings, and then a quick way to do a search on either Elliott waves or Fibonacci based on whatever you're looking at, just to get some general ideas so you have an idea of where that crypto could be going. Thanks for watching. I always say, hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. Have a great day.